For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike, telling you guys a bit of a review video on a very much loved product from Kampa. So this here is the Kampa Dometic Rally Air Pro 260 DA. So what essentially it does is basically a motor rally drive-away. So it's a drive-away model designed for sort of to be freestanding, so it feels very much like a fixed awning, but you have the versatility of detaching it, leaving the main body freestanding, nip off the shops, get some milk, and then come back again and reattach yourself. So it's a model that's been really well for Kampa the last couple of years, and it carries on into 2020 season with one major update really, and that's just the creation of a new size. So still in the range, you've still got the 260, 330, and also the 390. The main difference being as well is they've introduced a new all-season 330, but you can always check out the video of that on our YouTube channel. Alternatively, the 260 size, they've actually now, originally the 260 was specifically just for VW vans, so attachment height's about 180 to about 220. That's still in the range. It's called the VW Drive-Away 260, not just to confuse you a little bit more. And then they've got the normal 260 DA, which is designed for, as we've come, for more bigger motorhomes. So fitting from about 235 up to about 285, 295. It just means you have, a lot of people last year made comments that why do they make a 260 not for taller vans? So this is kind of what they're doing. They've introduced this to the range. I think it fits quite nicely as well. And the ability, this is the 260 I've got with me now, so it's quite a neat little model. Nothing that's too big. The only thing I will say, certainly if you've got the likes of a sliding door, you might struggle to fit it in that 2.6 attachment. You probably get it just about there. Depends on what van you've got, but always you can double check with us on that. The joys of the drive-away, as you can see from our own Attwoolls pitching and packing videos, it's very simple to put up. I've put the model up in my own about sort of 12 minutes, which was something, and that was the 330, that sort of size. Very quick and easy, and if you want to, you can always buy the Gale electric pump, and then it'll actually put it up for you, sit back and relax and watch it. But as to check our YouTube videos on that, or alternatively in the link below to our website, and it's all linked in there with all the product and all the information you need. Generally, you've got a single point inflation throughout the whole awning. So one inflation point just located here will actually inflate the awning, distribute itself internally when we look at that in just a second. But on the second side of that, you've got little taps to let it down, so it means it's not a faff packing it away, and you've got a nice oversized bag as well. It matches their caravan range with the nice pro fabric, looks quite smart, and anyone who's had any of their awnings, it's very much well tried and tested. You've still got things like easy pegging systems, nice webbing straps on the front, and it's preset at the bottom, and you just adjust it quite nice and easily, and it helps to pull the base out as well as the top point as well. You've still got options for storm straps to give that extra bit more belts and braces, which I would recommend. And again, the side panels can be removed, and if need be, add additional annexes on or conservatories on, just to give yourself a little bit more wiggle room to accommodate people inside the awning, or making the awning bigger if you wanted, to make it a little bit larger. That's always the options. I would probably point you towards our previous video in 2019. In that particular video we had the whole collection up, so we had the 260 in the VW size, the 330 and the 390. So everything I'm talking about now in 2020 collection is exactly the same, pretty much as it was in 19, near enough, just with the new introduction of the size. What you've also got is the really nice chunky beams, as well as the ability of the driveway function. As you can see, we've got the drive-away attachment pegged out here, and there's a nice door on the connection piece, so you can enter the vehicle without having to go through the awning every single time. A few connection methods you can look at. You can either look at throwing straps right over the top of the van, as per our pitching video. Alternatively, you can look at just buying a fixing kit. It would probably have to be at least a 3 or 4 meter, depending on which size you go for, and that'll go into a wind out quite happily. And you just roll a bit of excess fabric back just to make sure it looks a bit smarter and a bit neater, but it's probably more a solid connection to do, and I've done it numerous times for customers as and when needed. We've also got an internal adjustment system to allow you to keep that tunnel point nice and taut and allows a really good sort of flow of water to stop it pooling anywhere. But let's have a look on the inside and look what else the driveway has to offer. So now we're inside the awning, you can kind of get a bit more of a grasp for certainly the sort of depth you've got in the main body, and yet again you've got the whole connection piece at the back, so it's quite seamless, and it really does mean having those basically two big doors at the back here make it feel like it is pretty much self-sufficient, or you can open it up and then have that sort of beautiful sort of openness into the motorhome and back again, or for the VW for that matter. Like I said, you've got a 2.5 meter depth in here, and it's about sort of 80 centimeters in the actual sort of canopy area. Two nice big panels with PVC windows on the front to give you plenty of light, but then you've also got the curtains as well to get the privacy when you want to. And yet again, like it all, you've got a very homely feel. There's a little retain at the front here, just to kind of keep it all at bay, and then a little strap just to keep it nice and close to the front of the window, just to give you really good coverage as and when you want to. But the curtain's got a nice little pattern to them, which certainly helps. I'll tell you what, just keep it there. Why not? Keep it nice little pattern just to kind of make it a little bit sharper, not sort of too sort of white and, you know, a bit smarter for all honesty. You've got a one-point inflation like we talked about on the outside, and that basically distributes itself through little valves and taps in here. And the joys of it is actually there's little twist isolation taps, so each beam can be isolating from one another. So it means if, God forbid, you had an issue, it can be located at one single point. Then there's a zip that quite literally just runs in there, an outer casing, and an inner bladder in there as well. So you just patch or repair that as and when you need to. So it's quite a nice system. And the taps here are merely just kind of the same kind of things like garden hose fittings. So kind of a little bit more idiot proof. So don't be kind of too, you know, they don't too worried about unscrewing it and re-putting it together. It's quite a simple process. So it makes it easy to, if you do have to, sort of fix or repair it. Generally, it's got a nice dual pitch system, so you've got a really good slope on the roof, which again helps with interior height as well as draining it off properly. Sky windows located in here to allow light to come into the actual awning itself without having to worry about, you know, when you want the privacy. So you get the best of both worlds. The two side doors located here, which I'll say can be completely removed if you wanted to, can switch itself, which we have done for this particular model. What that does, it means that your entrance door suddenly is at the front of the awning rather than being at the back of the awning. So again, if you've got a lot of walk through here, you're not taking up space. But I think for the driveway, because you might be coming in and out here, it may be better to have it at the back. But that's the joys of it. You can pretty much equip it, or, you know, put it to how you prefer to camp. In here, you've also got a nice mesh window to help with circulation of air. Same with both side windows here. Side doors, my apologies, have a mesh part in there as well. So you can have a good circulation throughout the whole of the awning and help, you know, fight the condensation, because it certainly is a big issue with these kind of awnings. Main reason is because they've used very waterproof fabrics, and essentially you're relying heavily on the ventilation point. And with this particular model, what you find is you're not like the caravan awnings where you've got vents at the top here. It's very much sort of sealed, so you want to kind of have as much ventilation as possible, because, you know, that fabric was not breathable at all. So any moisture or anything like in here is pretty much going to basically condensate on the roof, and then most likely drip down from anything hanging downwards. So whether it be little toggle points or lanterns. So a roof liner will certainly help fight condensation, but it's something that you can look at and also helps cover the windows. But we can always talk about in a separate video, as we already have. The back section, like I said, you've got two sort of almost like barn doors, and they can zip and open one another. So you can have almost like a seamless open area, all but a middle pillar in the actual awning. And then again, what I'll do, we'll pick the camera up and have a little rummage round and see what we've got on here. So, like I said, the main difference between the 260 this year and last year is that it's the attachment height. So the actual tunnel fabric itself is much bigger, so actually will go up to the proper height that the rest of the 330 and 390 range do. As you can see from the door situation there, that's, you know, you can open up and choose. So if your door's more towards the front of the van, you can obviously open the left-hand door. If it's towards the back, then you just open the back, or have them both open for that matter. You've got doors either side located there, so you can actually enter through the tunnel section without having to go through the awning every single time. As you have got a webbing strap adjustment system, so you can actually take up the height as you need to in two different positions, and also along the roof as well, just to really help get that fabric looking really nice and taut. But it makes quite a bit of a difference. But as you can see, when you come to drive away, you've got little toggle points along the top, and that's basically to roll that tunnel back so it's not flapping around in the wind and going to cause any more damage as such. And then you get a nice sort of sizable bag located just down there. But it's really quite a smart model. I think certainly going forward, you know, is going to be quite a popular thing. I think the 260 size is a good addition to the range. And as you can see, you've got the front windows which you can actually bring down. So one thing I've neglected to mention is there actually is a mesh panel set that you can put in the front two sections, which is the Rally 200. So you can have ventilation come through, but the secondary zip means you have the mesh panel in place at the same time, so you don't have to worry about sort of the bugs and critters coming in. But generally it's quite a nice model. Yeah, again, the doors can happily barn door again to the side, whereas the side end ones can zip out completely to reduce the weight. So overall, quite a nice model. Certainly check out, like I said, our previous videos to look at the sizes and get a bit more better feel. We generally normally have the 330 driveway on display, which hands down is probably the most popular model out of the four that they do. But also now for the new 2020 season, we've got the all-season version, so check out our separate video again for that. Any more information, of course, do contact us, especially when it comes to sizing, making sure it's going to fit. But check in the link below for any more information. But that's our video review on the Kampa Dometic Rally Air Pro 260, 330, 390 DA.